tell me what you do that helps people find their happy place?
Sure. So I'm a career consultant. So I work with people who are really unhappy in their jobs and help them to develop a compelling, exciting future for themselves. And I primarily work with people who want to make some kind of impact in the world. And so that might be, teachers or social workers or international development or environmentalists. But one of the things that research shows is that people are happier when they have a sense of meaning and purpose in their lives. And so that's one of the things that I think is really important to have in a job, is where you feel like you're making a contribution, you feel like your work is valued, and you're doing something that's meaningful to you.
So what do you do specifically that helps people find that?
Well, basically what I start out with that a lot of people don't really do themselves is start with who they are. What are their strengths? What are their preferences, their personality, their passion? And what makes them happy? What kind of day-to-day things do they find the most joy in? And so we start with them as a person to then kind of build up to a job. And so there's different activities and assessments that we do. And then once we've got a clear idea of what kind of work is going to make you happy, then we start looking at what kind of job titles that is. And for a lot of people, they start by going online, going to a job board and saying, this is a job that I can do. I help people kind of work from the opposite direction to think about, what do I want to do? And once they've got an idea of what that looks like, then we start looking at analyzing people's strengths and what they're really good at and what they enjoy doing, and help them turn that also into a job search strategy. So if someone's really great working with people, then we do a lot of networking. If they're really good at writing, then we look at how to leverage that to create a job that is a great fit for them at an organization that they want to be a part of.
Can you give me an example of someone who changed from one thing to another?
Sure. So I worked with this one woman who was at sales at IBM, and she really wanted to get involved in the international development sphere. And that's a really huge leap. But what we basically went through that process of identifying her strengths and coming up with a list of organizations. And then she used her skills as a salesperson and basically cold called a lot of people, made a ton of connections, got clear about what she had to offer, what she wanted to do. And then she got hired at USAID at a very prestigious, at their innovation lab, which is very small and very competitive.
So there seem to be so many more people with jobs that they dislike and a pretty limited number of jobs that they might like. So how do we address that?
Well, yeah, I think that's one of the challenges of kind of the modern day work life. And there's been some interesting research around this. And in fact, one researcher specializes in what he calls BS jobs. And those are basically jobs where people just kind of push papers or numbers around that really isn't contributing to anything bigger, but is a part of corporate life. And so I believe, and the way that I work, is that there has to be a transformation of the working life, and that some people can find jobs and work in something that they're excited about and that already exists. Other people, they have to create it. And so that's why I basically consider my process to be career design. It's not job search. It's about knowing what kind of work you want to do and then finding a way to make that happen. That might be creating your own job, it might be starting your own business, or it might be selling somebody, an organization, on what you have to bring to them and they create a job for you. Or you get focused on something that you know is going to be a good fit because you've done all the work to figure that out and make that happen.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like we could probably look forward to a sea change in the next 10 or more years because the job market needs to evolve.
Yeah, well, I think we're at a really interesting point because technology has made things much more dynamic. And so, what used to have to happen in an office, for example, now can be done almost anywhere in the world. And so, people are figuring out what they want to do, and then figuring out how to connect with people that want that thing. And so there's the gig economy, which has its rough patches, but I think it's kind of a glimpse of what's potential, what might be coming down the pike, and where people can say, this is what I love to do, this is what I'm good at, who needs this work? And basically, so you're not necessarily working for a company anymore, you're working for yourself and developing partnerships with the people who need your services.
So Rhonda, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
So the easiest way is to go to my website. That's www.bethechangecareers.com, and there you can schedule some time to talk to me. I'm super excited to talk about what are you looking for and how I might be able to help.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Rhonda.
My pleasure. So good to be here.